Blackfriars Theatre engages and enriches Rochester audiences through professional productions employing local talent. Here to talk about it are Danny Hoskins, he's the artistic and managing director, and Mary Tiballi Hoffman, she's the development manager. Thank you so much for coming in. It's great to talk to you.
Thanks for having us.
It's your 70th season and a reason to celebrate.
Yes, it is. 70 years of local theater making in downtown Rochester.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank
both.
you.
Yeah. Takes a lot of energy to produce these productions every year.
Yeah.
And how many do you produce in a typical season?
We produce 6 throughout the season. So we're one of 2 theaters in downtown Rochester that run a regional theater season. So we have 6 shows from September to May, and we also do a summer program, which is our educational program with high school and college students.
Now, is this straight theater? Is it musical theater? What's the...
Yes.
Okay, all of the above.
It. Everything. It's classic, it's contemporary, it's musicals, it's straight plays, it's comedies, it's dramas, it's all of it.
Fantastic. And so you use local actors, but they're professionals. These are high-quality productions.
Yes, yeah. All of our artists are local. Our designers, our directors, our crew, our actors, everyone that comes through the door are local artists. And most of the artists that we work with are artists that have worked professionally before, have come to Rochester or come back to Rochester to kind of raise a family, have a normal life outside of the arts, but also still do that work. And the other part of our artists are artists that are still working professionally, that are teachers, that are directors, that are artists locally in the community. And occasionally we do get some new people that have never done anything before. All of our auditions are open to the entire community.
Really?
Yep, open to the entire community, so anyone has an opportunity to come in and audition. But I would say the majority of the artists we work with, including the students that we work with in the summer, who are students that are pursuing this as a career, most of them have worked professionally or continue to work professionally in the field.
I was going to say, if you say to people, just come in and audition, many people wouldn't know how to do that. I mean, are you cultivating local talent this way?
I think we are.
Yeah.
Over the past 5 years, we've had over, these last 4 years, we've had over 250 new artists come through the doors over the past 4 years. And already this season, I actually was just doing the math a little while ago, in our 70th year, just for the first 3 shows, we already have over 30 new artists that have never worked at Blackfriars before. So somehow we're doing it. With those numbers, I think we're making an effort to make Blackfriars more available and accessible to our community artists.
I was interested in your conservatory program.
Oh, our brand new conservatory.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk about it. That's your baby.
Okay. So we're just kicking it off this year with our 70th season. We're doing a number of new things. This is my 5th season, as I said, and one of the goals when I started was to build an education program. There wasn't really an education program at Blackfriars, and so after my first year, we started a program for juniors in high school through newly graduated seniors in college as a training program for the next generation of artists in the summer. And so it was just a summer program. And so now what we're launching this year, and we hope to continue and grow and evolve in the next 5 years, is a conservatory program, a full-year program, a fall, winter, and spring semester program that is open to all ages and all levels. So some classes are 16 and up, some classes are 18 and up, but we are opening them to the whole community, engaging with the whole community, and hoping that we can work with adults as much as we do with students, because there isn't really opportunity out there or classes out there for adults in theater, in music, musical theater. Some of our classes are play reading classes that are attached to the actual productions, where people can take a class and work with our dramaturg or some of our board members and read the play before they see the show, have a behind-the-scenes look with the rehearsal process, meet the directors, and then of course read the play and talk about the themes, and then come see the play. So we also have acting classes, musical theater classes in our first year, and are hoping to expand that to dance classes, to sketch comedy classes, to other types of acting and musical theater levels. So it's a big pie in the sky goal to how large we would like it to be.
Right.
But we're kicking it off this year, and we're really excited about it.
It's good to talk about it here. And you get to teach music theater and theater at Brockport and elsewhere?
I do, yeah. I've been an adjunct teacher for a number of years at NAS and RIT, and consistently I teach out at Brockport now.
I see.
So I teach improv and acting 2 classes a semester out at SUNY Brockport.
So it's nice to have sort of a vertical funnel for talent.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about cultivating folks who, especially people who have never done this before. We used to be artists. You're still an artist. Sometimes the best way to learn is to just throw yourself in it and try it. So the conservatory then becomes kind of a pipeline for people who maybe aren't totally comfortable coming to an open audition, but they want to kind of cultivate some of those skills and practice them, maybe dust them off if it's been a while, before that they just jump into the deep end of the pool. So it creates a pipeline for new talent to come through as well.
And the teachers that we're using that as it begins, and also hopefully as we continue, are Blackfriars artists. So the teachers that are running these classes are directors, are actors at Blackfriars. So they do have a direct connection as well.
Now, is there a certain style that Blackfriars have that they would bring to the instruction, or a certain value set, or?
I think generally what we strive for is when people experience Blackfriars, that their experience, whether it's in our audiences, as a student at the conservatory, what have you, is that their experience is personal. It's not stuffy, it's not formal, and always special. So I would say personal and special.
Personal and special, that's great. And suppose I'm out on a Friday night and want something to do. Do you have something at Blackfriars?
We are going, we actually did the calendar this year. There are only 2 staff members currently. We have a 3rd full-time staff member that our marketing position. So there's only 3 full-time staff members at Blackfriars. So Mary and I were actually doing the calendar about a month ago and found that there are only 5 weekends from September to the end of May that we don't have anything going on. And one of those weekends is Thanksgiving weekend. So actually there's only 4 technically, because that weekend we
prefer not to work.
Okay.
So we have a number of things happening throughout the year outside of our main stage shows.
Yeah, we have a comedy series. So we work with some local improv groups and sketch groups that come in, and about 4 weekends a year they do comedy shows, and each show is different. So there's always something you could come to all 4 and have a very different experience at all 4. So we have those throughout the year. If you're hanging out on a Saturday afternoon and you want something to do, we also have the Hourglass Play Reading Series, which is a series of, I think it's 4 as well. We like 4. Feels good. 4 free play readings throughout the year. For our 70th anniversary season, the team has gone back through our production history and selected 4 plays that we've produced in our history to present as play readings, kind of like a throwback year. So those are free. Those are at the theater on Saturday afternoons throughout the season, and that's a great way to kind of dive deeper into a piece, because there's a community conversation that follows. So it's really cool. The artists get to talk to the audience about what were the issues in this play, what did you experience, how are those issues relevant today. So that's a great program as well.
And we have a new program that Mary started 3 years ago that has evolved into a family, is evolving this season and continuing beyond into a family show called Imagination Station with Mrs. Kasha Davis.
Yes. You may have heard of it in its previous incarnation, Drag Story Hour with Mrs. Kasha Davis. It's a free, family-friendly program where we take a beautiful, sparkly drag queen and we have her read inclusive children's books to kids and their parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents. And it's been a wonderful thing. It's completely taken off. It's very, very high demand, and
we're over capacity many times throughout the year. The first year we did 6 shows, and then the next year we had to double it to 12, and we found that a number of those shows were even outside of capacity as well. And so this is our 3rd season. And we're shifting it to have more live music.
Live original music.
Live original music.
Yes, live original music.
We are working with an animator from RIT to do custom cartoons of Kasha Davis doing things. We're working with Fish and Crown Creative, a production company, to do some video footage of Kasha out in our local community. So we're finding ways to tie it back to Rochester, to keep it local and very specific, and just provide kids with another way to be enriched and engaged, so that we hopefully raise the next generation of kind, compassionate citizens. That's the goal.
Yeah, theater content comes to people in so many different ways now, video and, audio and everything like that. It's neat to see you diversify.
Yeah.
That sounds like a new partnership then with RIT.
We have a number of new partnerships that we've been working over the past 4 years, but we've been working with RIT in a couple different ways over the past couple years. We have a internship program with them where their students are tech internship, so they are either behind the scenes set building, or they are behind the scenes stage managers, assistant stage managers. We also have a partnership with their theater department where they bring their theater classes to 2 shows a year, and have a little talk back with the actors after the show. And then we've worked with Marla Schweppe, who's the animator, who's the head of the video game program over at RIT. And we've worked with her on a couple shows. She did the animations for Avenue Q for us. So she's working with us on Imagination Station now. But that's RIT is actually one of a group of partnerships we have with local colleges too. So that's also been part of the outreach over the last couple years.
I see.
We work with Nazareth. We have an internship program with Nazareth College, and we have another partnership with their theater classes. Same thing, where they bring their classes to the theater once a year. And we have my favorite. I'm kind of continue. My favorite program that we have with Nazareth College is with their visual communications design program. And all of our logos for the past 5 years have been designed by Nazareth College students. So we're actually part of their graphic design 2 class, where we go in and serve as a client, as opposed to where the teacher would serve as
pretend to be a bank, and we're looking for this kind of new logo.
Yeah, so we serve as a real-world client for 3 weeks in their class, and the whole class participates, and they design 2 or 3 logos for the shows that we're doing that season, and then they do a pitch to us. They each do an individual pitch, an individual presentation, and then we go away and we choose, I think this year we chose 3 students, 1 for our special events, 1 for our main stage season, and 1 for our Hourglass play reading series. And these 3 students become our designers for the whole year, and so their work gets used by a professional company all year long in many different formats that they can use in their portfolio.
They're also paid, which is
nice
as well.
There's a stipend
it's important to pay artists.
I agree.
And it's thrilling because you get all sorts of different work, and it's unique and original, and these voices that they have are so diverse and so exciting. That's kind of my favorite partnership that we have with really anyone. That's my favorite thing. It's the most exciting thing I think that we have.
And talk about the summer intensive a little bit. That's interesting.
Yeah.
BITSI, as we call it, Blackfriars Theatre Summer Intensive. It's going into its 5th year, I believe.
Yeah, this coming summer, it'll be in the 2020. It'll be our 5th year.
That's
5 years.
strange to think about. So BITSI, Danny has an educational background, so when he came on board, as he said earlier, creating some educational components was really important to him for the future of Blackfriars. So we started back in 2016 with a production of The Wedding Singer. And the structure of the program, it's about 5 weeks, and we take students through a professional process in creating a piece of theater. So they have to audition, they get cast, and then they work with a team of professional designers, creative team, production team throughout the whole process to perform a show on a professional stage. So it's a wonderful program. We've had a lot of students. All of these kids are training to do this for their careers. They're in college or they're recently graduated, and this is like their last summer thing before they go off into the real world. So we've had a number of students join us for more than one summer, and it's been amazing to see over the last 4 summers how these young artists are growing, how they've changed.
And it's starting to, now that we've been 4 years in, it's starting to bleed into our main stage work. So this year we had our first stage manager from the program actually stage manage one of our main stage shows. And we had our first actress who has been with us actually all 4 years, who's now, who won a role in one of our main stage shows this year. And she's out of school now. She's out of the program. So this past summer was her last summer she could do it, and now she's into the real world. And so we're starting to see, and we've also had some of those students work with us as interns or hire as part-time administrative assistants over the past couple of years as well. So it's not only just a program just to happen in the summer. It's something that we hope will encourage them and set them up so they can work professionally outside of that summer, and also in the real world, and also with us. So it's again that pipeline. It's another way for us to find other artists that we can engage with and help grow in other means. So yeah, and we actually started it as just actors. Our first year was just actors and a stage manager, and then over these past 4 years we've grown it so that now we have assistant designers, assistant stage managers, we have musicians in the pit, as well as the actors who are on stage, all being student artists that are growing. And this year, this past summer was the first year we had one of the assistant designers actually be a co-designer on the set, on the scenic design this year. And so we're expanding it, always expanding and growing, so that we're giving as much opportunity as we can to everyone.
That's very exciting.
And as the money lady, I do like to point out that training program is offered tuition free.
Tuition free.
Which I think is really important. Whatever we can do to create accessibility, so that financial barriers are not the determining factor of whether a young person can participate. I think that's really important, and it's special.
And suppose I have a young person interested in theater, how do I connect them to that program?
Everything's on our website. You can find everything on blackfriars.org. It's all there. We have a page just for the Bitsy program, letting you know all the stuff that we've done. And again, those auditions are open to everyone, and we usually hold off until right after school ends, college ends in May, so that the students that are staying here for the summer, or coming back home for the summer, have an opportunity to jump in. But usually everything begins. The auditions for the program begin late May. We do start taking via email submissions for stage managers, assistant stage managers, designers or assistant designers as early. I start getting them as early as December for summer, that the upcoming summer. So they can reach out via email, and that's all on the website too.
On the website, which, say it again, is
blackfriars.org.
Yeah. Now suppose I don't really act, but I love theater and I just want to volunteer. Can I do that too?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yes, we only have a staff of 2 right now, which means we really like volunteers.
What kind of volunteers?
We have volunteer positions. I guess the most obvious is ushers.
Okay.
To be an usher is fantastic. You come an hour before the show. You help us fold playbills, pass them out, take tickets, bring people to their seats, and then you get to sit and you get to watch the show for free.
Wonderful.
So that's pretty great. We're also, I think we're looking for another a second house manager, which means you get to be in charge of the usher. So if you are interested in ushering but you like a little more power, that's a good way to go. We also have a crew of, I think, 4 guys right now that are all retired engineers that come in every day, Monday through Friday, and help us build our sets. So if you are handy and you like playing with power tools and you like going to lunch, which they do every day, we are always looking for handy folks to come and join that team. What else do we have? We have other opportunities, I'm sure.
for volunteer opportunities, that's kind of those are the main ones.
Yeah.
Right now, those are the consistent areas that people can help out in. Yeah, and we've just had two. I think there were two new gentlemen that came on this season that joined that crew of retired guys,
So
and they
growing
build all
too.
our sets. Yeah, and they do fabulous work.
Yeah, and that building is so interesting and so flexible, that performance space.
Yeah.
How many does it seat, by the way?
126.
So it's an intimate theater.
Yeah, we're the most intimate theater in Rochester. It's 4 rows. You're no more than 20 feet from the stage. I think the first row you're depending on how
It's the splash
articulate
zone.
the actors are, how intense the actors are. You're only 5 feet away from the stage, and it's a unique setup as well. So the structure of it kind of it's a little bit like the thrust stage, where the audience wraps around the stage a little bit.
I see.
So there's always a unique view. Everywhere you're sitting, you're seeing something a little different than people on the proscenium stage, where you're sitting and everything's flat in front of you.
Right.
Our theater kind of wraps around like this. So if you're sitting kind of in house right, you're seeing a slightly different story than the people sitting in the house left. It doesn't mean you're seeing less of a story.
Right.
It's just that you may be seeing a little bit more of one character than another character. So your perspective also might shift a little as you experience the plays, which I always find really unique, because as a director, you have to sit at different sides of the audience. One, to make sure the audience can see everything,
right.
to make sure when they come in that okay, everyone can see everything. But also, it's really unique. You'll sit on one side one night, and you'll sit on one side the other night, and it's a really fun experience, because you're seeing almost 2 different shows in a way, depending on how it's staged.
And it's interesting space to be a director in, because you have to be so imaginative and flexible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard.
I found I've been there 5 years now, and I'd been there as an actor before that.
Yeah.
But as a director now, and I find that our directors have a tendency to feel this way too, that when you come into our space, it's really hard to go back to a proscenium space that's very flat and linear. And not that there's anything wrong with a proscenium space, but you operate in 2 different ways. And in order to operate at Blackfriars Theatre, I think it engages a deeper creativity and inventiveness that you have to have, because of the angles of the space, and because of the nature of the space, and because you can be very natural in our space, where on a proscenium, as an actor, you have to be kind of flat out to the audience, or you have to cheat out a little bit, where if you're talking to someone over here, you can't fully turn this way, because the audience is now only seeing your shoulder and the side of your face. You need to open up a little bit. And we're in our space, because it's so natural, that you can have people with their backs to the audience at different times for different moments, and you get. I think you get a deeper engagement, not only with the artists on the stage, because it's more natural, but you get a deeper engagement with the audience, because they have this little sense of being a fly on the wall, because they're really almost in the space that the actors are in.
It's not presentational.
Yeah.
You are really in it. And it's so funny to see artists work for the first time in the space after being on proscenium stages. Like, I remember the first time I was in the space, the director told me, "Oh yeah, turn your back." And you're like, "What? Really?" Like, it just feels wrong until you do it. And then it's like, I never wanted to perform anywhere else, because it just felt so right after a while.
It's very funny, even just to see directing some new actors. You see them as they, if they're flat out to the audience in a proscenium, they're kind of walking like this along the stage. You really go like this, and so when they come into our space, you see them go like this around in a square and walk backwards. Everyone inevitably walks backwards, because they want everyone to see them. Right? Don't turn your back and walk away. And you're like, no, just turn around and walk. Just walk into the space. You can actually just be natural. You don't have to worry about it. So it's a really fun space to be in.
That's fantastic. Now, suppose I'm looking for a chance to dress up and see a variety show. Is there anything like a soiree you should tell me about?
Oh, well, funny you should mention it. Yes, there
Being
is.
the money lady.
Once a year, in fact. It's usually the Saturday before Thanksgiving. We throw a big party. Last year was our first year off-site. This is also going into its 5th year, this 70th anniversary season. When we created the Blackfriars Theatre Summer Intensive, we thought, okay, well, if we want to offer this tuition-free, we need to be able to raise some money to support this, because we're not getting that money from those kids. So Danny had this great idea where we have a gala fundraiser, you know, like the other nonprofits do. But in the spirit of Blackfriars, we would make ours very unique, a little bit silly, and totally us. So the idea of this soiree is that people come, they buy their ticket, they come, they enjoy the heavy hors d'oeuvres, they enjoy the wine and the beer, and then we all sit down for an artistic program. Which is, you know, pretty typical for a theater. But our artistic program involves voting chips. And what we do is we think of 5 musicals that we think we would like to produce in the next season. You know, these 5 shows are great, we could do any of them. Let's put them up. And we reveal them to the audience that night. It's top secret until that night. We reveal them to the audience, and then we have Blackfriars artists perform 2 songs from each of those shows to give them a little taste. And sometimes, you know, it's a show like Guys and Dolls, which everybody's tapping their toes and they already know. And sometimes it's something that nobody has ever heard of, and it's a wonderful way to introduce people to new work. So they have their voting chips. They can always buy more voting chips, and that's how we make the money. And then at the end of the night, they all vote for the shows that they want. At the end of the night, we total it up, and whichever show has the most votes gets put in the next season.
Fantastic.
So it's a very democratic approach to season planning.
Where money talks.
Yep, the popular vote wins.
Exactly. You can buy a show.
I think they refer to it as pay to play. And it's a great way for us to raise money for the theater. I think, you know, in the 4 years that we've done it, we've tripled the proceeds from that event. Hopefully we continue to do that. And this year's event is going to be held at La Luna for the 2nd year, off-site, a beautiful space.
Say that again, La Luna?
La Luna in High Falls. It's a wonderful event space. And we're continuing to elevate what that evening is. And it's really exciting. It's the one night a year that we all get dressed up and we go out and, you know, we put on our glamour bits for a little bit, which is nice.
And then how about holiday season? Is there something that you offer every holiday season, or something people can watch for?
We've been, you're nodding your head.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to answer something different than you're going to answer.
No, go ahead. If you do, I'll chime in.
Well, so what we've been doing the past couple of years is we've been trying to have a holiday show that appeals to the whole family.
Right.
Something that Blackfriars hadn't done previously, which was more adult fare. So we've chosen titles like Little Women the Musical, Peter and the Starcatcher as part of our 70th anniversary season. So we're hoping to open up our holiday show, which is a little bit non-traditional for what the holiday, it's not a traditional holiday show about holiday themes. It's just a show that happens at holiday time, but we're hoping that the choices we're making in that slot are for the whole family, for, you know, as young as 8 and up. I think we had some 8-year-olds at Guys and Dolls. We had some 8-year-olds in Little Women the Musical, and hopefully we'll have some 8-year-olds at Peter and the Starcatcher. But our holiday show, we've been making more of a conscious effort to find something that appeals to the whole family, so that, I mean, we have families ourselves, little ones ourselves too. So finding ways to engage another demographic that Blackfriars maybe hadn't before is important to us.
It's really nice to see grandparents bringing their grandkids to the theater. I mean, we've all been in theaters where we look around and we think, oh my goodness, theater's got to keep going. Where are all the young people who are going to enjoy this, you know, 20 years from now, 30 years from now? So it's a wonderful way for families to come together. I know I have wonderful memories of, you know, my parents bringing me to the theater when I was young. And it's just wonderful to see, like, all the little girls traipsing in their little holiday sparkle dresses, and they're so excited to be there. It's a wonderful gift to be able to give Rochester families a chance to share that.
Well, it's been a wonderful gift to have you both in the audience to talk about it, or in the studio to talk about it today. And say your website just one more time so people can learn more.
Blackfriars.org.
Blackfriars.org.
Yeah, everything's there.
Okay, well, it's fantastic. It's a very varied and very energetic and very exciting program you've been offering. Congratulations on 70 years. My guests have been Danny Hoskins. He's the artistic and managing director of Blackfriars Theatre, and their development manager, Mary Tiballi Hoffman. Thank you both so much.
Thank you,
Hank. Thank you.
In the Spotlight is a production of Penfield Television with sponsorship from Nokan & Associates, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Advisors. If you enjoy this program, please find us on Facebook, like and share the program, and find our full playlist on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.